Today we're gonna make this delicious Greek white bean soup called fasolada. I'm Nikki Gleckis and this is Nikki's Modern Mediterranean. To get started on making our fasolada or our white bean soup, I'm gonna first with chopping our vegetables. So I've chopped up one large onion, finely chopped. I have used one medium-sized carrot and I kind of cut them in half moons. And same thing with our celery. I'm using 3 stalks of celery. Once I have all these ready, we're about to go onto the stove and get our soup ready. To begin, we're gonna put 16 cups of water in a big pot and add in, I'm gonna add the heat on high heat, and I'm gonna add in 1 bag of white beans. Any kind of white beans you want, and add those in. And we're gonna let this come to a boil. Now that our beans and our water have come to a boil, we're gonna add in our vegetables. So our 1 chopped onion, our 3 celery stalks, our 1 medium carrot, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. We're gonna pour that in, give that a nice little stir, and bring that back to a boil. It smells delicious already. All these beautiful vegetables. So that's gonna come back to a boil. Now that this has come to a boil, we're going to cover it and lower our heat down to medium heat, and we're gonna let that cook for 2 hours. For me, this is a great recipe that I make in the winter. I usually prep this when I'm cleaning up the dishes from the night before and I'm trying to prepare for my dinner for the next day. The soup always tastes better the next day. It takes 2 hours to cook on the stove. We're gonna add a couple more ingredients after that and the soup's ready. So if you're trying to clean up and get ready for the next day, this is a soup that you wanna try. It's been 2 hours, let's check our soup. Look at that. Our water has reduced because our beans have really soaked up all that water and it's gotten nice and thick. So we're gonna lower the heat and we're going to add 1/2 cup of tomato paste diluted in 1/4 cup of water. I'm gonna add that into this. We're gonna mix that into our soup. Oh, the aroma of this smells so good. So once our tomato paste has diluted into our soup, give that a couple seconds, couple minutes there cooking. We're gonna add our next ingredients. Next, we're gonna do a cornstarch slurry, just to thicken it up a little bit more. So we did 2 teaspoons of cornstarch in 1/4 cup of cold water, just whisking that a little together. And I'm gonna add that right into our soup. Give that a little stir, and I'm gonna bring the heat back up to medium heat to let that cook into our soup. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna add in our salt and pepper because we have not salted our soup yet. We wanna do that at the end, and that way you can always adjust the measurements of the salt and pepper. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, but you can always taste your soup and adjust that. Add a little pepper, stir that in, and we're gonna let this cook for just another 3 to 5 minutes until our cornstarch has cooked and thickened up our soup. And like I said, this soup is better tomorrow, so if you want to warm this up tomorrow, you'll even see the soup has even gotten thicker the next day. But this smells amazing. I can't wait to taste it. Our soup is ready. I poured myself a bowl. I'm gonna let this cool off. I can't wait to try it. And like many of our Greek recipes, this recipe is 100% vegan. For the full recipe, visit nikkigleckis.com and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Today we're gonna make this hearty side dish, araca me patates, which means peas and potatoes. To get started on making our peas and potatoes, we have 4 Idaho potatoes, 2 pounds of frozen peas, we have 1 red onion, and some fresh dill. So we're gonna get these ingredients ready and then move to the stove. So our potatoes, we're just gonna peel these. So now that we've peeled our potatoes, we're gonna cut them right in half, and we're gonna do kind of big, thick chunks here, wedges. So this dish is great in the summer and the winter because it's just a really nice, delicious, hearty side dish. So I like to cut these in big pieces, and it's gonna give a nice thickness to our side dish. Now that we have our potatoes ready, our peas are ready, we're gonna chop our red onion. So we're just gonna peel this and chop this up. Next, we're gonna chop some fresh dill. So for this, we need about 4 tablespoons of fresh dill. Chop this up. Now we're ready to go to the stove. So we're gonna turn on high heat with our pot. We're gonna do a 1/2 cup of olive oil. We're gonna saute our onions first. Put these onions in there. We're gonna saute that so it gets a little translucent. Next, we're gonna put in our potatoes. Saute them. You just wanna get them coated with the olive oil and mix them with the onion flavor. And next, we're gonna add in our peas. Combined all of these ingredients. So now that we've mixed all our ingredients, we're gonna add water to cover our potatoes. So for me, this was 4 cups of water. Next, we're gonna take 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, and we're gonna dissolve that into our mixture. So now that we've dissolved our tomato paste into our mixture here, and we have enough liquid that has covered our potatoes and peas, we're gonna add some salt and pepper, bring this to a boil, and then cover it and let it simmer. A teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. That already looks amazing, so colorful. Can't wait for you guys to try this. So we have this all in here. We're gonna bring this to a boil, and then we'll lower the heat to simmer. Now that this has boiled, we have checked this with a fork. It's fork tender, the potatoes. So next, we're gonna take it off the heat and stir in our fresh dill. This looks amazing, and this is ready to serve. Today we're going to make this delicious hearty winter soup, baked potato chowder. To get started on our baked potato soup, of course, our first ingredient is potatoes. So you're going to use 4 large Idaho or russet potatoes. I'm using smaller ones, so you could do about 6 to 8. And we're going to peel the potato completely. If you have a garbage disposal at home, make sure you do not put the potato peels down the garbage disposal. Make sure you throw these in the trash. So we're gonna cut the potato in 3, and then we're gonna cut them in strips and about little tiny cubes here. And we're gonna put them into water on the side. And once we've cut all of our potato, we're gonna bring some water to a boil and boil these on the stove. So we have our potatoes ready. We're gonna go to the stove. So I have some hot water here on the stove. I'm gonna boil our potatoes so we can let them cook until they're about fork tender. I have a nice big soup pot here, and we're gonna get started and cook everything right into this pot. So 6 thick strips of bacon and chop that up, and we're gonna put that right into the bottom of our pot. And we're gonna cook our bacon first. So we'll put this here. So we wanna cook our bacon completely so it gets nice and crispy. So our bacon is cooked nice and crispy. I'm gonna take these pieces out of the pot and we're gonna use them later. So we're gonna leave them on the side. So next we're gonna use the bacon fat that we have on the bottom of the pan and we're gonna cook our 1 onion. So I have 1 onion here chopped up. I'm gonna add that. We're gonna saute our onion until it's translucent. We've cooked our onion. I've even scraped the bottom of the pot and we're gonna add in our garlic. So I have here 6 cloves of chopped garlic. Saute our garlic and our onion. Next we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter. And to the butter, we're gonna add 1/4 a cup of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna stir the flour with the butter. So we have our flour and our butter. Next, we're gonna add in 3 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to stir this in and scrape the bottom of the pan so I can get all of those pieces off the bottom. You could feel them with your spoon. Next, we're slowly adding in 1 cup of half and half. I'm gonna pour this in. And we're gonna bring this to a boil. So we've brought our soup to a boil. We're gonna lower the heat and let that cook for about 5 minutes. And next we're gonna add in our potatoes. Next we're gonna stir in our cooked potatoes. Drop them right in there. This smells incredible. This will definitely be something that will smell, your whole house will smell with this one. So next, now that we have our potatoes in there, we're gonna add in our sour cream. So you can do sour cream or Greek yogurt. I've done both. So I'm gonna stir in the sour cream. This is 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. Stir that in. Next, we're gonna stir in shredded cheddar cheese. Now, it is important that you use a block of cheddar that you shred yourself because the already pre-shredded cheddar doesn't melt as quickly. So I have shredded 2 cups of cheese here, and I'm gonna stir in this into our soup, although I'm gonna leave a little bit on the side because I'm gonna use that for garnish for the top. So I'm gonna stir this in to our soup, let that melt. And we're gonna let that melt into there, and I'm gonna add pepper. So you can add salt, but that's really to taste because I don't wanna make this too salty because we have the salt from the bacon. So we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Stir that in. And for the bacon, again, I'm gonna do the same thing like I did for the cheese. I'm gonna add all of it, but I'm gonna leave a little bit reserved for the top so I can garnish it. So we're gonna stir the bacon in, and our soup looks ready. So we have our soup. This looks incredible. I can't wait to serve this up. We have those delicious chunks of potato, bacon. You could smell the garlic and the onion. And we're gonna garnish this with a little cheddar cheese on top, a little bit of bacon, and some chives. And this is ready. For the full recipe, visit nikkigleckis.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.